This is kind of weird getting used to. Where am I looking? I'm actually recording this on my phone. Okay, what's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And what I want to do now, finally, is I want to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. I haven't talked about this. It's been out now for a few weeks, but I feel like it would be irresponsible to me to not mention this movie because it actually speaks to something that I've spoken to quite a few times, which is when it comes to reimagining characters, so to speak, I always say, I've said it many, many times on film, I'll say it again, that I do not like traditionally white characters in blackface. I will never like it. I'll never appreciate it. I'm a lifelong comic book reader. All right. So I grew up, for example, with Spider-Man. I grew up with Peter Parker. In my mind, he looks a certain way. He sounds a certain way. That's the way I identify him. That's the way I will always want to see him. I will never, in my mind now, accept a black Peter Parker. Now, what I will accept is a black Spider-Man who does it the right way. Because one thing this movie says at the very end, it got me, man. It got me right here. He said, Miles Morales now, the main character, he says, anybody can wear the mask. I think this is what he says. Anybody can wear the mask. If you didn't know it before, I hope you know now. And to me, that was freaking beautiful, man. It was poignant and it was relevant. You know what I mean? Because to me, the way Miles Morales is done in this movie, from the very first time you see him on screen, when he's got the headset on and he's like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, I loved him because I related to that kid. I was that kid, you know, who always had his headset on and, you know, I got the tinnitus in my ears now to prove it. You know what I mean? I've just gotten used to it, the constant, you know, but whatever, man. You know, so Miles Morales, man, you gotta love a kid who just randomly yells out, Brooklyn! Even though I'm from Queens originally. But anyway, I just love that New York in him, you know? So it's like his character is very distinct. He's just this kid, man, who just, he's probably a lot better than he knows. He doesn't really want to try. Kind of reminds me of my son in that way. I always tell my son, if you only put the effort into school that you put into not trying, you'd be brilliant. You know, because my son only knows two ways to be. He can either fail or he can be A+. There's never any in between with him. So, you know, to see Miles Morales presented the way he is, there were so many teachable moments in this movie, you know, for my son. And, you know, of course, his relationship, you know, with his father, I could relate to that, of course, you know. And his mom, you know, Xavier's mom, you know, my son, my ex-wife is from Guyana, which is South American. So, you know, it kind of... you know, it kind of reminded me of that kind of dynamic, you know, except my ex-wife is not bilingual. But, you know, it's all good, man. You know, so there was just a lot there. You know, of course, he had his relationship with his uncle, who was on the other side of the law. His father, of course, was on the right side of the law. He was a cop. And my brother, for example, is a cop. You know, as a matter of fact, that's him over my right shoulder right there. You know, that's a picture of him. He was a first responder in 9/11. He passed away in 2009, and I love him very, very much. You know, that's my brother. So, yeah, the dynamic is there. And, you know, so watching this movie, sometimes it could be an emotional experience for me because there's so much of it that hit home. And I'm glad that my son is attracted to this movie. We're actually up to, what, like 5 times seeing it, twice in the movies. And, you know, you can catch it on the internet, you know, if you know what I'm saying. But we'll probably go back to the movies to see it again, too. But he just loves it, which is the reason why he had to have these guys. You know, you got this one. Of course, you got Miles, you know, and these are great, man. I ordered these online for my son, you know, part of his Christmas gift. Actually, let me show you guys something real quick, a little side thing. All right, he also got this joint right here. You know what I mean? Ugh. You like that, right? That is really cool, right? It's like you got that, and you got, this is my favorite, man. Hulk, look at that. Look at the detail. You know, and also I like the fact that he is fully posable. You know, I don't like that straight arm crap that you can't really play with. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, you got the Hulk. You got, all right, you got this bad boy right here. And I think he lights up a little bit. Where is it? Yeah, you got that. And, of course, you got to have Cap. Cap looks a little fruity there, doesn't he? I don't know. And of course, you got Tony. you know? So that's really cool, man. So we've been having a great time. That's the reason why you don't see usually a lot of action figures in back of me and stuff like that, because me and my son be getting it in, man. I don't put them up on the shelf. We play with these shits, man. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what is it? The Lego movie. You know what I mean? I don't glue these things, man. My son can take them, play with them, whatever he wants, and so do I, when I feel like it. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, you know, back to the movie. I couldn't help, and I'm going to wrap this up real quick, guys. That's why I talk so fast sometimes. But one thing that I couldn't help but think, you know, in subsequent viewings of the movie, is that this is how, like, Disney Lucasfilm should have done Luke Skywalker. You know, because there are some similarities here. It's like Miles Morales went to Peter B. Parker to help him to train, you know, to know how to be Spider-Man, the same way that Rey went to Luke to get Luke to kind of like learn how to be a Jedi. You know what I mean? So it's almost like the same thing, except the way that Peter B. Parker, who by the way is from our dimension, because my son, eagle-eyed that he is, pointed out that in Miles Morales' dimension, the police they say PDNY on their cars. In our dimension, or I should say in Peter B. Parker's dimension, it says NYPD. So that to me was kind of like a signal that Peter B. Parker is the Spider-Man that we all know and love. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, Spider-Man, Peter B. Parker rises to the occasion as Luke never did, because in the heart of a hero will always be that great power comes great responsibility thing. You know what I mean? Even though he doesn't want to be reminded of it, when Miles reminds him of it, he realizes that he is right. When the stakes are so high and the dimension is looking at crumbling, then he's got to do what he's been gifted to be able to do. Kind of like with Luke, when he realized that the whole galaxy is in danger, well, what would Luke Skywalker do? Of course, he would go to an island and wait to die. Fuck you, Rian Johnson, very much. All right, so anyway, this movie actually gets it right. So you see Peter B. Parker's Spider-Man training Miles Morales. You see him kind of like taking him under his wing as a mentor, and he's helping him get over some of the disillusionment, some of the hurt when Miles finds out something horrible about one of his family members, and he sees what comes of it. Peter B. Parker as Spider-Man, he's there for him, and so is the rest of them, or so are the rest of them, like Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen. You know, I love the line when Miles Morales says, "You couldn't understand," and she says, "Miles, we're the only ones who could understand." You know what I mean? These characters, they're so alive. You know what I mean? It's like their eyes are so connected with their emotion. Whoever did the animation on this thing, fucking brilliant, brilliant. It's like they just feel like they're truly fleshed out people, you know, and they relay every emotion behind those eyes, whether it's surprise, whether it's anger, whether it's shock or you know, or hurt or love. You know, it's like, what's her name? Once again, Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, she's adorable. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. You know, he's so vulnerable behind those eyes, you know what I mean? And Peter B. Parker's Spider-Man, I relate to him so much because, you know, he's been through a lot of things. It's like the Spider-Man in Miles Morales' universe or dimension has only been Spider-Man for 12 years. But Peter B. Parker from our dimension has been Spider-Man for 22 years. So I really relate to him, you know, as a human being, believe it or not. Like the things that he's been through. You know, he's been disillusioned, he's been hurt, he's been divorced, or he's been separated, you know, whatever the case may be. And in a lot of ways, you know, that's my character arc as well. You know what I mean? I handled it just about as good as Peter B. Parker handled it in his dimension, you know. But, you know, so it was great, man. And you know what it made me think, too, while I was thinking about Disney Lucasfilm and how they dropped the ball, where this one actually picked it up and ran with it and scored. I was thinking that Lord and Miller, who, what did they write this? You know, they were involved in this movie. It's like, it makes me think, if they're able to get the heart and soul in this movie, the way that they did, as strongly as they did, then to me, it just compounds Kathleen Kennedy's failure that she fired them. These are not the type of creative minds that you fire, Kathleen. Look at this movie. Look at the way that they executed those scenes, the tension, you know, the emotional impact of it, the beginning, the middle, the ending of it. It was masterful. You know, and the humor actually landed. There was plenty of humor in this movie. It was actually funny. But someone like Kathleen Kennedy comes along and says, oh, no. Oh, no, wait. Kathleen Kennedy says, no, it's too funny. No, get him out of here. You're fired. Ooh. But anyway, so yeah, so that's a fail, Kathleen. That's a fail. I hope you're paying attention. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I definitely give a 0 out of 4 flushes. Remember, my particular rating system is 0 flushes means there's no shit in the toilet, there's nothing that needs to be flushed, it's all good. 4 flushes means that joint is backed up, it's gone, man. It's in for what it was. I'm not saying that this movie was perfect. You know, I heard that some people kind of had a hard time adjusting to the animation, but I felt the animation was beautiful. It's everything the Star Wars Resistance wishes it could be, you know, but there it is. You know, the animation was great. Let me see what else could be said about this movie that's negative. I don't know. Kingpin. I mean, Kingpin was magnificent. You know, I think it was Leah Shriver who did his voice. Kingpin was amazing. He was huge. You know, that's something that me and my son laugh about every time he comes on screen. And my son is like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Yeah," you know. So yeah, he was great. Menacing. Everything you want a bad guy to be. Dr. Octopus is a woman in this one. But it's not an SJW kind of woman. It's just great, man. The movie just really works. No identity politics. Nothing is going to get, like, you know, like stuck on your throat or whatever. Everything goes down very, very easily. Spider-Man, he's not being replaced by some black kid. It's a totally different character. I just love it, man. And I just love how it turned my son on to all the life lessons that I've been trying to teach him, you know. So I really do thank you. The people who came up with this movie, you know, all the creative minds behind it. I thank you so much for giving me yet something else I can share with my son responsibly. So guys, if you've seen this, I know it's late. I know it's been out for a long time and everything. I kind of feel like this movie is going to be a sleeper. It's kind of going to be overlooked. You know, in much the same way The Adventures of Tintin years back was overlooked. I love The Adventures of Tintin. I grew up reading that one too. And they did a wonderful job with that, but people never talk about it. But this is kind of the same thing. I think this is a brilliant movie, and it needs to be in everybody's collection. So, you know, whatever kind of weight it holds that I'm recommending it, take it for what it's worth. Go out and see it, you know, or when it comes out, buy it. It's a great one to have in your collection. So, guys, did you see it? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, if you like this, you know, what I'm doing here or whatever, feel free to like, share, or subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that bell, the notification bell, and I thank you for it. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.